let me know if you can hear my voice. Um, can you hear me? Just want to be sure we are on the same page. Let me hear you. Let me know when you can hear me. Let me know when you can hear me. Yeah, let me know from the comment section if you can hear me. I just want to be sure my volume is loud enough. Can you hear me? Let me know when you can hear me. Is the audio clear enough? Yes. Can you hear me? Is it clear enough? Okay, so just trying to resolve a little technical glitch here, and then we'll open the conversation. Bear with me on the bit of the audio, trying to get a permanent fix to the situation. See what I can do about this. Okay. Let me know when you are able to hear me. I'm trying to make sure we get pretty clean sound. Confirm if you can hear me crystal clear without a lot of noise. At least let me know. Yes, great, great. Right, welcome everyone once again. Of course, we've had a bit of a delayed start, but we'll try and hit the nail on the head. Let me know if my audio is syncing with my video as well. You know, I like doing this live sessions because I really don't have too much time to sit down and cut and edit videos. No, we do it in real time, and then we take the questions and we can get to watch it back later on. So let me know if there is any delays. I will address that quickly. Right. So welcome once again. I can see Young Moni is here. He says he's a student of University of Ghana. Kens Fordofori, also a student of University of Ghana. We have an IT student here in UG and someone studying statistics with computer science. Great. All right. Thanks for confirming the audio bit. As always, I just have minimum equipment for my setup. If you have been following me for a while, occasionally I show what I use. So I have my laptop right in front of me and some external monitors, and that's just it. My phone is being used as a camera right now. I've set it up in the flight mode so that I don't get any calls that would interrupt this session. So if you are trying to reach me, you are following this channel and you've got the notification that we are live, you're trying to call me, it won't work. So bear with me on that. We'll try and make this session really snappy. Let me give you the outline of this meeting so that we are all aligned and then we can move in sync. Right. So where do we begin from? Great. So what are we going to talk about this afternoon? I know it's a quick call. If you have joined us later on, some weeks, months, years, later on, I'm pretty sure you find this meeting very useful. I hope you do. So you are all welcome. What is the purpose of this particular session? So basically, I just want us to have a pivotal discussion that is aimed at demystifying the key aspects of academic journey, especially at the University of Ghana. But let me not let me issue let me state that I'm going to be a bit biased towards the School of Physical and Mathematical Sciences, but there are general aspects of this conversation that I believe every student by large, as far as University of Ghana is concerned, will find this very useful. So we'll be dissecting the complexities of CGPA, and I take it again, CGPA, cumulative grade point average. Cumulative grade point average. We'll try to unravel the implications of trailing courses. Some of these sensitive topics nobody wants to have. We'll try to explore some effective strategies to navigate potential challenges. The main goal for this particular session is to empower students with knowledge and insights to thrive academically. I want you to make informed decisions and ultimately transiting into a society that is having a well-rounded education. These are gaps that are usually missing in a student's life. I make this presentation out of my own personal evolution and experience. I know that the information is provisioned, but sometimes they are subject to variety of interpretations from different dimensions and different angles. So, and I know the generation we have today barely has time to read any longish documentation. And so let me do you a great disservice and then provide you adequate information. Now, this meeting was prompted by a message I received from a student. And this message had been pending for quite a long time. And he indicated that, and I'm going to present this quote so that everybody can see it. Let me put it across, if that is fine. And again, I'm doing every single one of these things in real time, as a matter of fact. So no hidden tricks or secrets. So let me put the information I received in full picture so that everyone watching would see this as well. And I'm going to begin from this presentation. So let me push it out there. Here we go. Right. Let me know when you have any glitch or whatsoever from my production. Which one is this one? Nope, not this one. Let me see desktop 2. Great. All right. So let me disable this one. Okay. So take a moment and read this information. Just take a moment and read the information there. I'm going to begin on this premise. Yes. I didn't put any name there, so I just don't want to put anybody's identity out there that they've not given me permission to. So I won't do that. Right. I'm pretty sure you have read a message there. I don't know what you make of it, but this is what prompted me to start opening up this conversation. So what actually transpired? Let me just put this across. I'm a course advisor at the University of Ghana, specifically at the Department of Computer Science, directly engaging with level hundreds specifically. No other group but level hundreds. So I cannot tell when this would end, but for some time now, we have been embarking on what we refer to as the placement exercise. And this placement exercise has its own advantages and disadvantages that students are faced with from time to time. Okay, and it is long overdue that we had this particular conversation. So that is the essence of this particular meeting. The point is that students are placed into their respective programs. In fact, as a matter of fact, right from admission, a student is notified once they gain admission into mathematical sciences or physical sciences. But let me speak specifically to mathematical sciences. I think in one of my previous videos, I mentioned that University of Ghana does not admit for now, and this is public information. For now, we don't admit into computer sciences, mathematics, actuarial science, and so on and so forth. We have a number of courses that are like that. However, we do admit into mathematical science, and then based on your performance, usually you find this information at the second bullet of your admission letter. Now, based on your performance, you are placed into any of these programs that I've made mention of: computer science, mathematics, statistics, actuarial science, and often we have a combination of these. Those that are doing combined major, those are doing major minor, but that's not the subject for today's meeting. And so after your level 100, based on your performance, and I reiterate on this point, based on your performance, you get placed. You have the opportunity to select courses that you feel are more aligned with your interest and your capacity. And we usually expect students to make informed decisions. And in my capacity as a course advisor, I do my best to engage with students time and again. My colleagues do same likewise, to bring this information to the fore for students to understand that you don't get up and just get into computer science. So if you came into University of Ghana with A1 whatnot, it is not a guarantee that you are walking into computer science. Emphasis on performance. Emphasis is not on who you know. Emphasis is not just on interest. Interest doesn't even count here. So if you have an interest, then you have to complement that interest with results and performance. Over time, we've seen students with A1s and minimum B3s in elective and core maths, and yet they come in here and they struggle particularly with maths. And it doesn't really make sense to most of us, especially having come from the background of computer science. But that is not the subject for today's meeting. And so several students and hundreds of them have fallen below the required threshold, even being considered for placement. We've had this conversation. Some of them have come for private discussions. I've met some of the parents over a period, and we've tried to navigate around these. And of course, students alike have also been reaching out. Now, like I said, this information is general and is going to be valuable to everyone. So the gentleman sent this message. I saw a message in the group that if your GPA is between 1 to 2, you can't complete in 4 years. Boss, please, how is that so? A little clarity. All right. I have told a number of students time without number that I'm a man of faith, but when it comes to science, one of my main reasons for liking mathematics is because 1 plus 1 is never 3. Clearly, I mean, English is not my first language, and so I don't consider myself as the most eloquent person on the planet. And if I write essays, it's subject to somebody's intuition and approval. That is quite a different story in mathematics. If I'm required to produce the summation of two numbers, it can never be an alternative. It must be just those values. And that made quite a lot of sense to me at early stage in my life. And that is how come I found myself buried into it. And if you come to the computer science, several of my colleagues have all come from the background of mathematics to become the computer scientists we are now. I mean, all the programs and the mathematical sciences are rooted in math, and there is no two ways about it. So if you're a parent or somebody watching this to inform a relation, please don't deceive yourself. Probably you do not make a clear cut for IT, and so you think, let me come into mathematical sciences, and when I perform well, I will get to branch into computer science. If you come to computer science, you will still have math component up to level 300. It is not going anywhere. Math is still relevant. If you are going to interview for Google, want to work with such tech giants, they will tell you to prepare for data structures and discrete mathematics. Math is really essential to every computer scientist. But if that is not a cutout thing for you as far as math is concerned, the options are there for you to branch into IT. Of course, the cutoff point is pretty high because we cannot admit everybody. I'm pretty sure the whole country, if everyone had a chance to come and read IT in University of Ghana, everybody would have trooped in here. But we have our own constraints, resources, and several ways. So if you're also a donor, you can support us. I'm making a special appeal. Nobody has taxed me for this. I'm just saying, okay. So that is also, once again, I digress from my main topic. Now, the important point here is, I believe the information the student was asking about is CGPA. And the emphasis is on 1 to 2. A lot of things are not in context here. And so in this particular session, the things that I intend to address, I will begin from let me organize my thoughts pretty well. Just a second. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the implications. We will try to understand the CGPA. I'll try to explain the concepts of the cumulative grade point average. We'll go through the computation. Very simple approach. Simple approach that is not supposed to be confusing. You can calculate this for yourself. I'm not going to pick any templates from anywhere online. No, nothing whatsoever in that form or shape. So let's see how that goes. So we'll try to understand the CGPA, the implications of a low CGPA, the impact of trailed courses, the consequences of accumulating trails, and of course, if you have any further questions, you put them across. Is that okay? Right. There's still noise from my background. Sorry about that, Abigail. I hope it has reduced. Let me know. My computer's fan is very loud. I know. Let me try and see if I can minimize it and it won't impact anything as far as performance of my computer is concerned. But yeah, it's an Intel PC. So let me begin from this premise. How do we compute GPA? So I'm going to display a sample result, and then I'll open a spreadsheet. Just a spreadsheet. You can pick your PC as well, and then work through this together. Nothing hidden from anybody. Just going to show you basically how this is computed. Let me just make sure I don't disclose anybody's identity. That is going to be below the belt. So let me see. I'm going to pick one that has alpha results without a name. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to work with something like this. I've not showed it to you yet. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to work with this. Let me make sure there is no form of the individual's identity being shown. That is very, very important. Please, I hope you have not disclosed your details to anybody. Date of birth, I'm taking it out. Even the sex, I will not include it. All right. I want the information to be as realistic as possible, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen once again and then put this information there. Okay. Let me be double sure that there is no form of exposure of the individual's identity. All right, so here we go. So let me first begin with this information. Let me zoom in wide and share this. Great. All right, so this is somebody's performance. If you are trying to figure out who this is, don't worry, don't waste your time. It won't happen. If you are a newbie and you are watching this kind of results, University of Ghana has a platform called the MYAJ web. A student can follow his academic track record by printing it out or viewing it on this portal. You cannot access this if you're an external individual. You can only access it if you are an internal person. So the student is able to generate their academic records. The name is usually here, this section of the document, and then the student ID number usually sits at this section, date of birth, sex, and then the date this document got printed. Now, I cannot talk about CGPA without making reference to the information that University of Ghana has provisioned, the standard information. It does not start with me. It only continues with me. So again, I'll walk you through how to download the regulations information. So you go to the academics and then you come across the student handbook. Now when you go to the student handbook page, let me zoom in wide enough so that everybody can see. There's a handbook for every college. That is not what we're looking at right now. We go to the university's regulations handbook, and from this section, the information we have circulating on the social media with regards to the minimum GPA is all contained in here. I must admit, it's rather unfortunate they did not provide adequate content section on the document to make it easy to navigate. But that's no fault of yours. Okay. Again, please, if my voice is not syncing with my gestures, etc., let me know. I can make all those alterations where necessary. Right. So if we need to navigate exactly to a specific page out of this 58, we'll have to just literally go through. But you see, as a newly admitted student into University of Ghana, or even a student of University of Ghana, irrespective of your level, it's important you commit to this manual and know exactly what it entails and how it affects and impacts your life. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to the section that deals with GPAs and whatnot. Okay. This is the university's interpretation of WASSCE results and then SSC results. Some of us sat for SSC, There were about 2 more batches after my time before the transition to WASI. So that gives you an idea how far back I completed SHS. Anyway, kudos to my alma mater for the 8th win. I rest my case there. All right, so we are not talking about admissions here. We're not going to go to admissions, the minimum cutoff point. That's not a conversation we are having right now. Check the university's website. There is an open day that is about to take place. If you know of a relation, a parent whose ward is about to join University of Ghana, they should make sure they join this session. It's going to be both live and in person. Ask the questions that they want to ask before the awards apply into the university. Any question that they may have for the departments, the programs, etc., etc. All right, so I'm going to lay emphasis on the grading system, since that is our focus, the grading system. And I hope it is big and visible enough. I'm hoping that the academic affairs, public affairs will sometime create a content page so that we can navigate through this document easily. This is my suggestion. If any of them chance upon this video, I hope I've not bitten more than I can chew. Okay, all right. So this is the GPA. Some students don't even know. This is what governs the university. This applies to everyone in the university as far as undergraduate programs are concerned. So you get an A when you score a mark between 80. So let me put these two side by side, shall we? That would make it more meaningful, don't you think? Let me put the GPA and then this one side by side, right? So that we will appreciate exactly what is going on here. Okay, and please let me know if you have any question from there in the comment section in the video feed. Okay, so what you see on your transcript is the credit hours for a course, and then the grade for a course, and then the GPT of a course. I'm going to explain this. Now, the university has clearly stated the interpretation of every single grade that you see, and that is the only thing you see on your transcript. So when you have a grade A, it means that out of a maximum 100% score or 100 mark score in your course, say subject A, B, or C, irrespective of subject, University of Ghana, if you earn a grade of an A, if you earn a grade A, it implies that you made a mark between 80 to 100. It doesn't matter whether you make 100 mark or you make the 80 mark, as long as you fall within that particular range. 80, not within, from 80 to 100, you get a grade A. CWA computation benefits largely from specific marks, but that's not a conversation for today. I know that applies to KNUST, but today I'm speaking about CGPA and, for that matter, University of Ghana. Right, as it appears on your progressive transcript, please note your final GPA is computed differently in University of Ghana. We have what we refer to as the FGPA. That is not the conversation for today. We'll have a separate session to discuss that. So grade A attracts a grade point of 4, which is the maximum grade point you can earn. Grade B plus is 3.5. Grade B is 3.0 in this particular fashion. And then the field grades are E and F. E and F. When you score an E, that means you earned a maximum mark. That is continuous assessment plus examinations and all forms of assessment in that particular course. When you made a grade E, that means you made a maximum mark from 45 to 49, and that is why you probably might have scored an E. E is unsatisfactory. The grade point is 0.5. E and F are literally considered as failure. These are not my words. Okay, I borrowed a few phrases from Kojo Sheldon. Now, the asterisk is on the E. The university has indicated that although this is a failure grade, it may still be accepted as a fulfilling prerequisite for other courses. I repeat, although this is a failure grade, it may still be accepted as a fulfilling prerequisite for other courses. When you get an E, don't think you have passed. When you get an E, don't think you have passed. That's the interpretation of E as far as the regulations are concerned. Please don't get it twisted. Don't get it misinterpreted. So when you get an E and an F, we consider that as a literal fail. You can resit either E or an F, but if you make a grade D to an A, you're unable to retake any of those particular subjects. All right. Now, again, if you have any question, please let me know. Desmond, you are welcome. Right. So let's proceed from here. Now, every course has a credit. The credit is the credit hours, the number of hours dedicated to the course for a student to take. This comprises the main lecture sessions. My link seems to be breaking. I hope I'm not dropping frames. Bear with me. I'll be monitoring this from time to time. All right. So I've just gotten education. I'm dropping frames. But I hope nothing interferes. Okay. Let me know if there is any glitch that is compromising the video production. All right. So the maximum number of credit hours for each course at University of Ghana is 3. We have programs that are 1 and others that are 2. But that's not the conversation for today. But for every subject, there is a credit hour. For every subject, there's a credit hour. There is no single lecture session that goes beyond 2 hours. So University of Ghana would typically give you 2 hours session for the main lecture section, and then maybe another hour for tutorials to make up for the 3 credit hours. So if you have observed, that is literally what is that is literally what is reflecting on your transcripts. If you are seeing 3, 3, 3, 3 against each of your courses, that is literally the meaning. Now, to be able to determine what we refer to as your CCT, your CCP, and then your CGPA, we need to have these values for each course, your credit hours for each subject, the grade you have obtained from the subject, and then the GPT that you have also earned. Okay, right. Now, to obtain a GPT, you multiply the credit hours of the subject by the grade points of that subject. I repeat, you multiply the credit hours by the grade point of the subject, and then you obtain the GPT. What do I mean here? Now, if you look at the table on my left side here, the grade point for a grade D is 1.0. Is 1.0. The credit hours for the course is 3. So 3 times 1 resulted in this grade point we see over here. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that clear? Can somebody confirm that this is okay? You can give me a like or something to let me know that yes, this makes sense, you know, in the chat section, wherever. I just want to be sure we are aligned. Is that point clear? Okay, right. Yeah, we'll have a different conversation on that if I have little time. Reserve that for the Q&A section. Somebody's asking the difference between IT and computer sciences. It seems he missed a bit of my earlier on submissions. So we'll try and see what we can do about that. Okay, I assume you got the information right. So we multiply the credit hours of the course, total credit hours for the course, and multiply it by the grade points of the subject, and then obtain your GPT. So if you look critically here, the credit hours for the subject here is 3. The grade point is a C+. A C+ attracts a 2.5 grade point. So 3 times 2.5 result in 7.5, and that is the GPT you see here. Right, now let me open my spreadsheet at this point and let's work something out. Okay, shall we? So I'm going to open my spreadsheet and then let it take over my screen here, and let's see what we can do. Some little bit of a magic. You can do this for yourself. You can tweak and manipulate it as it will best suit you. Right. So when we have a course, let me just put this also by the side of the window. Oh, no, let me put this one here. Seeing all my files. Okay. So let's say the credit hours is on this column. Credits as has been described over there. I will put here the grade, and I'll put here the grade point, and then I'll put here the GPT. Right. I hope I'm making progress. We are making progress together. So journey along with me. Let me literally center everything that I put here. Is that okay? All right. So maybe we have course A, course B. All of them have 3 credit hours, whatnot. Let's propose some grades. Let me put in here, say, a B plus. Let me put here, say, a B. Let me put here, I'll put here B plus. Let's put here, say, a C. Okay. And then let's put here, say, what nobody wants to have, an F. The grade point for B plus is 3.5. The grade point for B is 3.0. And then the grade point for a C is 2.0. And then the grade point for an F is 0. For uniformity's sake, let me try and then make sure we have only 2 decimal places. Just 1 decimal place, so that we are consistent, for consistency's sake. Okay. Somebody said they can't see it. We can't see it. What can't you see? Can you be a bit specific for me? It's okay. Okay. Okay, it is better. All right. All right. Thanks for the confirmation. Right. So for each of these courses we have here, the GPT will be equivalent to the multiplication of the credits by the grade point, and then we obtain the GPT. The same applies across. Now, if, and for the sake of consistency, let me make this one also to a decimal place so that we are all on the same page. Okay. So this is your GPT, and this is not ChatGPT, and this is your credit hours. When we want to determine the cumulative grade point of a student who has probably made this score within a particular session, right? We calculate the total of, and whatever I'm doing here, if you have started my class in office productivity tools in mathematical sciences, they should come to you with ease. If you have any further questions, I have other videos on this same channel you can watch to walk you through some of these fundamentals of Excel. I mean, in the most simplest way, as I've tried to put it across and share with my students. So I will sum all of this, and I will obtain what I refer to as the total credit hours for the session. I'll do the same here for the GPT and then sum them. Now, to be able to determine the CGPA, the GPA, let me put it this way. The first phrase is the GPA for the particular session. I need to divide the value here over the total number of credit hours. Again, for the purpose of emphasis, let me keep this to 2 decimal places for consistency's sake. So the student with this kind of results has a GPA of 2.1. It's less than 4.0, maximum 4.0, but this is the GPA progressively. Now, if this is your first level, for example, if this is the first time the student has completed level 100 first semester with grades like what we're seeing over here, then the information here becomes your CGPA. The information here becomes your CGPA because you have completed only one semester. Well, for this section, okay, so let me replicate the totals here. Let me replicate the totals here as well. I think I'm going to remove the highlighting from this section. Okay, and then the CGPA will be the same story. So this one will be equal to this value divided by the total number of credits. So the blue section is first semester, the yellow section is for second semester. Let me vary the results so that we can see the differences a bit clearer. So let's assume the person made a D plus here, and then the D plus can be interpreted as somebody with a grade point of 1.5. So let me change the value here to 1.5. 1.5. We are going to talk about the implications of the values you see. Okay, so let me put there. So at this level, this is both CGPA and GPA. Here is strictly GPA. So the first semester, the person made a GPA of 2.13. The second semester, the person made a GPA of 1.6. It doesn't matter that the person had a B in one course. Just this D plus and F has reduced the person's GPA to 1.63. But this is exclusive for the semester. If we want to know the CGPA of the candidate for the entire academic year of first year, we are going to sum up the total of the two GPAs, which is the first total. We're going to sum the total credits. Is going to be the total of the GPTs from first and second semester divided by the totals of the total credits hours from first and second semester. So let me make this a bit clear. So the total number of credit, the total credit hours, okay, for the first year, we put that in this particular cell. Total credit hours. Let me just align it left so that we can see the full text. Okay, let me move this text here so that we can see it clearly. So total credit hours will be this value here, which is the total after first semester and the total after second semester. So to avoid any ambiguities, I just come and then add the sum of the two, and it totals 24 credit hours. Right. Then we find the total of the GPTs, total GPT after first year. We'll put that value here as well, which will also be equal to the value we have here plus the value we obtained here as well. Let me use some colorings to help us appreciate exactly what we are doing. So let me paint this section, maybe what will make it so visible, this color. Yes, so I'll maintain this, and then what I added for total credit is this and this. So the green sections are total credit hours per each semester, which have been put together to arrive at this value we have here. This 45 is the total of the GPTs across the two semesters. So in order to know the student's CGPA, we divide the 45, the total of the GPTs, over the total of the credit hours, and then we have a cumulative grade point average of 1.88 for the particular candidate in question. Let me know if this makes any sense to you. Let me know if this makes any sense to you. If you have any question for or I mean any question or whatnot so far, let me know whether it makes sense to you having come this far, so that we make progress. This is the side that I need to be a bit fast, so once we get it out of the way, the rest will be a smooth sailing, I believe. Let me know from the comment section if everything is okay so far. I would really appreciate it. Let me know from the comment section if everything is okay. I'm waiting for your feedback. It's very motivating to know that whatever we are putting across is making sense to you. It makes sense. Desmond, thanks for the confirmation. So this makes sense. Right. Nobody has any question on CGPA calculations. So when you get to, currently some of you are in level 200. If you are in level 200 first semester, you are in level 300 first semester, level 400 first semester. You want to have an idea, your CGPA, just add the compute the other GPAs and then follow through with this same calculation here as current as possible. You would notice that your total credit hours would have gone past this 24 by now, and then you do the computation, and that is fine. So now, how does this apply to a real result? So let's replicate this. Let's look at somebody's results here and then put something into perspective. Gradually I'll be addressing the items that I want to highlight during this session, and then we'll be making the needed headway and signing off very soon. So this is basically how to understand the CGPA. So if you are targeting a first class, you probably want to start very early because it's cumulative. It has to be gained from somewhere. Okay. So my next point is, what is the... Yes, so let me just demonstrate this briefly, and then we will look at the implications of a low CGPA. Is that it? Yeah. We'll look at the implications of a low CGPA quickly. So let me replicate what we have done. We have here somebody's results. So I'm going to assume course A, course B. So let me just repeat credits. Let me try and make it as big as possible. Oh, okay. There are two D's, sorry. DDF. No, DD and then nothing. No, DDF first. DDF NA here, and I'm going to explain that. And then C plus, and then D. Right. The grade points have been computed for this candidate. So he has 3, 3, 0, NA again, 7.5, and then 3. Right. Yeah, somebody say he wants to meet me at the office. All right, you know where to find me. Right, so the total credit hours for this student clearly is going to be the sum of all of these, and that results in 18. Now you are seeing 15 here and not 18 because the candidate has yet to record any grade for one subject. So it has not been included in the computation at all. There is no penalty for the credit hours for the course whose grade is not produced yet. Okay, it means that the candidate duly registered for the course, but no grade has been made available for the student yet. You may want to contact the department exam officer of whichever program you are studying to get resolution to this situation. So we are unable to include this in the computation, so we'll revert our metrics, pick up to this section in the computation. So we're going to sum these cells and exclude row 6 in the computation, and that leaves us with 15, the same number of total credits for the first semester the student has had. So we apply the same logic to this one, the summation, and then we'll get the GPT. So this GPT does not include this field as well because there's no value or whatsoever. Is that okay? Right. So to be able to determine this, the GPA of the candidate, which has been indicated here as 1.1, it's literally equal to this value divided by the total credit hours. So UG didn't make any mistake. If you thought they made any error, that is false. As you can clearly see, the person earned 1.1. In our computation here, it is also 1.1. Never stand anywhere and say they've computed your GPA wrongly. Your CGPA is correct. So I've just given us a typical example of this GPA thing. It has been programmed, so it cannot be correct for one candidate and be incorrect for another candidate. I don't know where that happens, but you find students, making false claims, and that is simply because we don't know how to do this computation. So that is why we are taking this opportunity to address this issue once and for all. Now, it is important you maintain a good GPA, because if you don't, you cannot achieve your goal of probably hitting a first class, second class upper, second class lower, third class, or probably a pass. The various classes that you could graduate with are all detailed in the regulations manual at the University of Ghana. If you're a student, just go to the university website and download it and read that for yourself. It is important because it is cumulative. If your goal is to reach a first class, then you probably have to begin cumulating good performances right from the very start. Simply because if you look at what we just did here briefly, if I replicate it here as well, we have another 3 sets of credit hours from the second semester of the same candidate here, and then another GPA which resulted in about 3 Oh, sorry. Thanks for drawing my attention. Oh, I don't know how this broke. Forgive me. All right, so let me take that again. So this student we are looking at here on this right side of the display made a GPA of 1.1 CGPA at the end of first semester. This candidate also in second semester made a GPA of I didn't compute the GPA of first, second semester. Let me make it explicit. So that is 7.5 divided by 15. All right. So the person at the end of first semester made a GPA of 1.1. The person made a semester GPA or in the first year of 0.5. But when you compute the cumulative CGPA for this candidate you see over here, you get 0.8. 0.8. This is where the student is. So the information you see here is no mistake. University of Ghana will continuously show you your CGPA, which is what matters most to you. Okay. So in the department of course, in mathematical sciences, it's not even mathematical science. University of Ghana's rule, which presently is public, is that when you do not make a GPA less than above 1.0, 1.0 and above, the University of Ghana is going to withdraw you from the semester. This candidate has become a victim of that. So the argument is he still doesn't have some credit hours for some courses. He's hoping they will be loaded and a few others. And once they are loaded, hopefully he will perform better than any of the Ds. However, from this computation, even if the candidates, let me assume that there is one NA here. So let's do the computation. Let's add one more credit hour here. Let's add a grade here. Now, the average grade for the candidate throughout the whole semester, the best grade has been a D. But let me assume that the person did well. Let me give him a D plus, which is equivalent to a grade point of, what's the grade point for a D plus? D plus is 1.5. So let's give the person a grade point of 1.5 as well. Okay, so I put a person 3 times 1.5 will be what? The same 3.15. Is that it? So if the person is here, this one will be equal to this value multiplied by the credit hours, and then it's 4.5. So this value has changed a bit. Now, I hope you are watching carefully. This was the course the student says he didn't have anything. This 4.5 I have input here. In my estimation, the student made a D plus. I'm just picking the student's best grade, judging from the grades he has obtained here. D, D, F, and D, C. Oh, he had a C plus here. So let me give him C plus. Let me use the C plus, which is 2.5. Is that okay? Let's use the C plus. Okay, that should be fine. Let's use the C plus. C plus is 2.5. Is that not it? Is that the grade point? C plus is 2.5. Yes, C plus. So we'll have the 2.5 multiplied by 3, and that will be 7.5. So let me give the person 7.5 here. I'm just assuming that the person, once the results is released, he's going to use the maximum credits. I mean, he was going to get a maximum grade he had before. Okay, this computation hasn't, okay, it hasn't included this one. Let me just add it. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so as you can see, this student had an NA for this section. Let me even put it down so that you see it. It's NA. I am simulating it. I just assume that, judging from the student's results, his best grade is a C plus. So let me assume that the NA here is a C plus. Even that doesn't make the student cross the 1.0 mark, CGPA. It doesn't. It doesn't. This is how your grades in your respective subjects can impact your cumulative grade points progressively. And so if you're aiming at first class, the first class better begins in level 100. Don't entertain any fails. Don't entertain any form of these failures. No, don't give room to them. Don't give them to chance. Okay, so that is for your information. If you have any question on this one, let me know. I just wanted to highlight the implications of a low CGPA to you. I'm actually getting close to the end of my presentation. There was an earlier submission from someone that so to the main question that came up, this main question that came up, let me put it across here. Right. So the main issue that came up, let me share my screen with you. So say I saw a message in the group that if your GPA is between 1 to 2, you can't complete in 4 years. All right. Now, if you can recall from your orientation sections, University of Ghana was quite explicit in their information. University-wide, you have a minimum credit hours of 15. Minimum. The least for any student is 15. However, there is a maximum of 21 credits that is allowable. It is advised that level 100 students don't exceed 18 credit hours within a semester if you have come into the university fresh. Now, let me put this information out there before I even make progress. Most of you did not know that when you fail a course, where you obtain a fail grade, okay, you retake the exam, the grade will not vanish. The failed attempt will remain on your transcript until eternity as an undergraduate. This fail the student has here is going nowhere. When the person passed the course, let's assume the person takes the course in second year, first semester, and the fellow passed the course on the second attempt. They will indicate as part of the second semester results, this course that the candidate failed, indicate the credit hours, the grade, and then the grade point, and compute the CGPA, adding another 3 credit hours to the person's CGPA simply because there is a second attempt on the course. It will go nowhere. So assuming that I fail a course and then I retake the course and I get a failed grade again. So again, at this end section, I'm going to put 0 there because any number times 0 is 0. Look at what it does to the GPA. It drops. It drops and it will keep dropping. So we have had students who keep telling us that, oh, sir, you don't worry, I'll pass this course a second time. One, they didn't know that when you fail a paper and you take it again, it's going to be added to your GPA. Your credit hours is going to be more than your colleagues. If you fail again, it's going to worsen your plight. How is it going to worsen your plight? The course that others took with only 1 credit, only 3 credit hours, and made a grade of, say, a C+, you have taken that course against 6 credit hours. So you imagine you get 6 credit hours here. Just watch closely. Let's assume at the second attempt you made a failure in the course. So the credit hours has multiplied, has doubled. So when I make this 6, watch closely at what will happen to the CGPA. It keeps dropping. It keeps dropping. And it will keep dropping. The only way you can turn around a failed grade is to make sure that at the second attempt, you don't make a minimum of a B. You don't make a minimum of a B. So I'm looking at the student's results here. He's already, considered for withdrawal. The best grade the person made was a C+, and it happened just once. And the student walked to you and told that, oh, sir, don't worry, I believe a miracle will happen. I'm going to pass the other ones. I know my mistakes. There's a question mark there because the figures don't say, they don't speak the same language. You get what I'm saying? So this is a case that we need to put across so that you all get to know, understand, and appreciate. Now, why did I make that suggestion to the student? My choice of words, and I'm taking them back, I'm repeating them again. There is a very high chance that student may not be able to graduate within 4 years if the GPA, the CGPA at the end of level 100 is 1. Every student who has a GPA of barely 1 or 1.2, 1.3 is entertaining a number of Fs similar to this candidate we have here. So this candidate has, in fact, the candidate here has 3 Fs at the end of first year, and the candidate has 1 E to complement it. So these are 4 failed courses in level 100. 4 failed courses in level 100. This is the situation we find ourselves. So, and I remember I mentioned that you cannot register more than 21 credits of subjects, credit hours of subjects within a semester. Any student who exceeds the allowable maximum credit may not have the grade of the extra course appearing on their transcript. And when they make the follow-up, they will explain to them why it will be NA. You don't want to be in that position. So you are limited to a maximum number of credit hours within a semester. Even if you are going beyond your 18 credit hours, the maximum allowable as far as the university is concerned is 21. Now imagine a student failing 3 courses in one semester. Let's assume he made 1.0, so he's moving on to level 200. He gets to level 200 second semester. All things being equal, the university rules is expecting him to register new set of courses totaling 18 credit hours. Now, if you're taking this course at a second attempt, when do you take these field courses? And then when do you take the regular courses for that particular semester? The next logical action will be suspending the courses for that particular semester, 3 of them, and then registering the failed attempts in your previous year. What you have literally done is that you have moved forward your courses which were supposed to take in that particular semester. You did it for second semester of second year. You get to third year, you repeat the level 200 courses you didn't take. They have taken over the level 300 courses that are required. You've pushed the same thing when you go to level 400. So the level 400 second semester courses have moved out of the 4 years, and the only possible chance is to take them in the 5th year, especially if you have not taken the course before. You have to attend lectures, complete your assessment before you can take it. University of Ghana has what referred to as the supplementary exams, which is an alternative. It's a provision. We are not the first to have initiated this. As we speak, I think UST students are returning, especially those who have receipts, to have sessions with their lecturers and some other interactions of that nature, and then retake the exam. And if they're able to make it, they cover up the gap and resume the next academic session with their colleagues seamlessly. Unfortunately, at the University of Ghana, there are no lectures for a receipt student, or let me use this word, a supplementary student. Regular receipt is taking the field course in another semester where the course is being run again. Supplementary receipt is seizing the vacation periods the university has provisioned to take the exam for that particular subject and be graded on only the exam. So the assumption is that you probably had some minor lapses during the main sitting, and you can make use of just an exam to make up for what you lost. The statistics at our department has proven that the story is never the same. Most instances, students who fail a course during regular attempts have a very high chance of failing at the second attempt, especially when it is a supplementary receipt. I'm choosing my words carefully. Supplementary receipts. Mathematics, for example, requires extensive engagement with your instructors, spending extra effort and time and hours into practicing what you have been taught and improving on your understanding. Now, you fail to do that during the regular attempt, and you want to take it on the supplementary attempt. You may need some extra classes. You may need some private tutelage. You may need some extra hours out of your own time to fill in that gap. It could even be a distraction for anyone who is attempting a regular receipt. So the person failed the course in the second semester first year, he's retaking it in second semester. If he failed the course in the second semester first year, he's retaking the course in the second semester second year. There's a very high chance of lecture session clashes. So one of the level 100 course may be happening around the same time a level 200 lecture is happening, and you have a divided attention. The room that you probably could have taken advantage of to explore more, you are using that to complement and correct your initial failed attempt. So these are the constraints that you are likely to face. And so if things stay as we have discussed, then a student with 4 trails in very strong courses like mathematics, until the student is able to sit down, attend lectures, ask relevant questions, and fill in that knowledge gap, there is a very high likelihood that the person is going to fail again or make weak grades. And mind you, any second attempt of a course is an increment of your credit hours. And so if the credit hours increase and you make a weak grade, it brings down your CGPA. And you must be mindful of that. So basically, that is the implications of a low CGPA, the impact of trailing courses, and the consequences of accumulating trails. If you need any clarification, if you have any question for me, I think now will be the time so that we bring the session to an end. Any question for me? Feel free to ask me any question. I'll try and then add timelines to this session so that if you go to watch it again sometime, you would know what to exactly pay attention to. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anyone. Yes, I'm still checking the chat section if anybody has any question for me. Any question? Any question? This is the Q&A time. Okay, somebody is asking what is the difference between IT and computer science. You don't have to put too much. You don't have to re-echo the question. I've seen it. It makes sense. All right. So let me use this opportunity to explain the difference between IT and CS. The discipline of computer science is very broad. It is a wide range of careers that fall within that particular bracket. We have the computer scientists, and then we have the information technology specialists. Computer science is rooted in mathematics. There are core computational concepts that resulted in the subject computer science. It's so rooted in mathematics. The computer, you have been sitting in front, clicking on a button, tapping on your phone screen to result in certain reactions and changes and forms of things in front of your screen, are all undergoing some core underpinning computations which result in what you see and feel. A lot of inventions are going on by the time. ChatGPT has taken different forms and shapes since its inception. The computers we knew a few years ago have advanced tremendously. Computer scientists have formed key to these inventions that have resulted over the period. A lot of mathematical computations are going on behind the scenes. The more you are good at it, the more successful you become at it. IT is another arena that requires people to also be proficient to a greater extent, fundamental exposure and experience in computer science. So there are common things they do together, but when it comes to the mathematical concepts, there is a threshold we go with IT students. So you find careers like front-end developers, um, artificial intelligence analysts. Those are the core of things. Tech support engineers, IT support engineers, etc. Majority of these people basically earn degrees in IT or probably have earned some certification of some sort. You find computer scientists in the lecture room pretty much. You find them in the laboratories. You find them at the core of engineering projects because of their solidity in maths and the basic data structure concepts. So if you come to the University of Ghana School of Physical Mathematical Sciences, we have a bracket of courses that are rooted in mathematics put together in mathematical science. And that is the main reason why we've kept it that way. Okay. Right. So I hope I have answered your question, helping you differentiate between the two. So quite frankly, we will place premium on computer science than IT. There will be high expectations of computer scientists to an IT students. On any grounds, we will enforce that because they are quite different. So if you think your maths is not strong, you probably, and this is my assumption, I won't even say that I've heard people talk about it, even confessed it. If what's the approach of learning maths made you think you were so good and you missed the fundamentals, and you probably made an A1 or a B3 in both commerce and e-maths, when you really know you don't have the foundation in calculus and whatnot, don't deceive yourself. You probably want to read IT, like so many other students who have come and gone. The impression is that let me come and do mathematical sciences, and then level 200 I'll transition to computer science. Please, there's performance attached to it. You will never cease to do maths until you cross level 300, even in single major computer science. So let nobody deceive you. Apologies if you don't find much more of this information on the department's website, but hopefully over time that will be provided. Right. I hope I've answered his question for him. Somebody is asking, I've heard that for some courses an E may not require a receipt. How true is that? For example, math courses, please. You cannot score an E in maths. Let me take you back to the information here again. Don't stand anywhere and say what nobody has said. Don't interpret the information wrongly. Okay. So this is the grading system. Please, and I showed you where I downloaded this information from. Just go to the university's website. Okay. Go to the university's website. Go to academics. Go to student handbook. And then you see university regulations book. It's right up there. Please just go and download this document for yourself. So you don't, if I don't have sessions like this with you, you don't assume what is not. The information is right there at your disposal. An E has an asterisk. The interpretation is unsatisfactory. Although this is a failure grade, it's a failed grade, it may still be accepted as fulfilling prerequisites for other courses. So if it is not a prerequisite, please don't assume that it is not failed. Again, if the maths was not adequate for you, you might as well not have come into it. Okay, there is no way to hide from that. Please take notice of that. Definitions of grades. Grades E, F, X, and Z constitute failure grades. There is no exception. Grades E, F, X, Z constitute failure grades. Please, there are no exceptions. These are not my words. This has been enshrined in the university's documents longer than most of you even crossed JHS before you joined us here. Okay. Like I said, FGP is a different conversation for another day, but we'll talk about it later on. Any question, please? Any more questions? Okay. If there are no further questions, Hasaris, I've seen you. Well understood. Thanks for joining us. Asari is somewhere far away. Um, I guess we'll leave it here. I don't have any more comments coming in. No more questions. Um, just doing my best to help out here. There is no pay in what I've just done here. I'm just helping people get the right information. Please, if something is not clear, you can point to your parents, your friends, your folks, somebody who is considering coming to University of Ghana to this video. Like it for me if you really have seen that I've done something good or something useful. If you want to ask me any further questions, leave me a comment in the comment section. Occasionally, I'll make time to check and then get back to you. I'm still a computer science lecturer, PhD student. I'm performing other roles. I love the family and I love the work of God. So there is no boredom any moment in my time. There is no free time. Just slot yourself in there and I'll be happy to assist in any means possible. I have an IG account, but I'm not very active and I can't promise you, so I don't put that out there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Share, like, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. All right. Adios.